It's Monday Night Fire. My rhymes burn hotter than a funeral pyre. I'm the heavyweight champ, you can call me sire. Reviewing raw like a southern rap messiah. Crossing over lines like I'm Stone Cold Steve Austin. Flipping opponents like I'm Randy Orton. Dirty South flow, my words they be caustic. Every verse I drop got them head nodding. Spit lyrical punches like a ruthless fighter. Got the crowd hype, I'm the crowd igniter. Breaking down the raw matches, no denier. Dirty style rap, I'm the Monday night supplier.
What is up, window lickers, grunts friends, my friends, chaos goblins, and anybody who's a part of the IYH household? It is great to see you. We are off of just a fantastic Mania. It wasn't one of the best, it wasn't one of the greatest, but it was fantastic because for me as a fan, they told so many stories and they advanced so many things that I'm just purely in love with right now. So I can't wait to get into the talk. We're not even going to talk about things outside of Mania right now.
We have to recap Mania before we can wildly speculate about what we're going to get on this restart of a Raw.
Yeah. No, you're 100%. And we already got the Lou chiming in. He's in with us. Bearded Mania is running wild.
Continues
brothers. Happy Monday to you too, Lou. And let's just kick it off. So night one, let's get your guys' thoughts. Everybody was busy, everybody had their thing going on, so now we're finally here. We can get into it and we can hear it. So Grun, why don't we hear your recap of night one real quick, and then Kevin, you jump right in and we'll do what we do.
All right, well, night one, I thought it was very good overall. I thought you had a really good match to open up with Jey Uso and Gunther. I know some people not thrilled with how that match ended. However, there was something that was brought up that Gunther tapped out that quickly to Ilya Dragunov for the WWE or the NXT United Kingdom Championship. So it's like, no, Gunther is if Gunther is indeed back into a corner and can't get out, he will live to fight another day. That will be his choice. Like that's kind of scary now. Now that I think about it, that's scary because he's gonna be pissed.
Gunther is a competitor.
Oh yeah,
but competitors look at UFC. Competitors in the UFC will try and get out of submission holds, but once they are locked in, they know they're cooked. And if they don't tap out, they are going to get seriously injured. So I think it lends more believability to the finish.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if they needed 10 million splashes and spears prior, but I think leading up to that made it feel, I thought it was better than people gave it credit for. Was it predictable? Yeah. And I guess that hurts it a little bit. But at the same time, just because it's a foregone conclusion doesn't mean we can't enjoy the ride getting there.
Exactly.
Well, and just like this comment, House, we don't know the foredrawn conclusion on that. So
we don't.
Let's just enjoy the ride while we get there. Let's figure out.
Possibly not. Wait, hold on. Question. How do you know that, House?
Here we go. The mysteries start.
Well, first clue is that he is, in fact, Austrian and not German.
Oh my gosh, Grun.
Yeah.
Grun, you are getting us taken off the air. I can
listen.
just
If Eurotrip taught us anything.
Very true. Very true. There you go, kids. Anytime you want to look back on history and wonder what it's like, Eurotrip.
Just watch Eurotrip.
Yeah.
Just watch that movie. You'll be fine. So overall with this match, where was everybody at?
I liked it. I thought it was a good piece of business.
I thought so too.
Again, even if it's a foregone conclusion, doesn't mean we didn't enjoy the ride getting there. I thought Jey Uso pulled out like 3 or 4 moves I've never witnessed him use live in a ring.
I think so.
And
yeah.
I thought that was great because to me, Jey Uso's former style is not going to be conducive to holding the title for very long
Mhm.
because he has a Jey Uso match. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, by the way, but I think it lends itself less to having a long title reign and more to having a short one because it's not a one-trick pony kind of thing, but it's harder to slot into different matches is how I would describe it.
I love it.
So if he's switching up styles and he's starting to do more things, we could actually see a longer title reign out of it.
Yeah. And speaking of long title reigns, we got Dirty Dick in our
Dirty
our
Dick.
chat, and he is letting us know he's watching from Sabu's house in
Hell yes,
Vegas.
he is.
Amazing. Sabu had an amazing spring break with Joey.
Oh my God. I saw some of the highlights of that.
Oh,
Insanity.
man. Like it just
Jesus.
wow.
Man's
At
an
that
immortal.
age to do that.
I don't know where he found the fountain of youth, but he's bogarting it just for matches.
Yes, that was wow. That was amazing. I loved all the clips, and we hope you're doing well and recovering from that amazing performance.
Mhm.
We also got Annie chiming in. Not everyone can have.
That's true though. Because that's the flip side that people don't want to talk about is not everyone else can do his style of match too.
Yeah.
And it's tough to match up when you're a champ and you only have one style of match. I've ran into a lot of competitors and you can make a lot of money only having one style of match. So this is not a shot on anybody.
Yeah.
It just means it's harder to keep you in a spot.
Yeah.
You have to ebb and flow more.
On another note, just in comparison, you have people that can do one style of match, but then you have people like AJ Styles who can do any type of match you put him in. And it's like, how many people are out there that are like that? Not saying on AJ's level, but can do multiple different styles of matches and do them well.
Yeah. It's the same with people like Cody. That's why he stays on top.
Yeah.
He does different kinds of things.
Yeah. And I love the fact that Jay heard the noise, changed it up, and Kevin, you picked up on it and you addressed it very well because that's what we do here on a Monday night. It was a great performance out of them.
Yeah. But overall, I thought night one was really good.
I did too.
I don't think he was as strong as night two.
No,
I don't.
But I thought so. This is how I described both of them because I don't want to go for blow for blow for every match.
Yeah.
I think some are more cut and dry than others, and we got to leave time for the ones that aren't.
Well, we'll let you lead that dance for us too.
So
Kevin.
for me, the tag titles were very cut and dry, but I hated, and I can't control the crowd. So I'm gonna say I hated how the crowd reacted to it. I can't control the crowd. They were working their asses off in that tag title match, though.
Yeah.
And I thought they put on a really good match. It's just the crowd didn't wanna. I don't know why. It felt like they didn't wake up in night one until about match 4.
Maybe.
Yeah, I could see that.
I think it was what was match? No, it was match 3 because that was night Fatu. They woke up on the BFT counter, which by the way, holy shit.
Yeah.
You get one shot to hit that right and become immortalized in WrestleMania.
Hey, they did it though.
They did
it.
You know what? One of the things that I criticize LA Knight for, I haven't done it on stream, but one of the things I've looked at, I said, well, people who are at the top or people who like can go further up in the business need to have something that can be hit out of nowhere, that they can get into positions from out of nowhere. And LA Knight always had that like one counter where it's a cute counter. Don't get me wrong. He'd catch a line, throw him back BFT. Really, really good counter, but he kept going back to that well over and over and over again. And it's like, okay, when are you going to come up with something new? Well, by fucking God, he came up with something new.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. And it was
so good.
It really like that was just a moment where it just you got involved in the match. If you weren't watching or you were just kind of passing off on this match, that moment right there got anybody's attention. And it was fantastic.
And for Fatu to live through it, even though it was a rope break, but to live through it and win, I think like I said when we were talking about night one predictions on the house party, they got big plans for Fatu.
Oh yeah,
and you
they
can
got
see
big plans for Fatu.
Oh yeah,
and I'm here for it. I know you guys
I am
are too.
I think
hell yeah.
He's a guy who's incredibly charismatic and talented, and like That's not even to speak about his in-ring ability, which is already massive because he knows how to sell all that. He knows how to sell. He knows how to hit a move. He knows how to keep it going. Like there's so much good to talk about Fatu, and it's only upside from here.
And correct me if I'm wrong. I seen this on the internet, so I could be wrong.
Sure.
But the guy who made Bray's mask also made the werewolf mask.
Yes,
I don't know if that's true, but I buy it. That makes sense.
I believe so.
I
They
heard
usually
it.
source out. They usually find guys that a lot of people like. This is just behind the curtain a little bit. Once we find someone who's trustworthy, they tend to get booked up.
Yeah.
Word of mouth passes pretty quick.
Grun, why don't you read this comment for us from a new watcher and a new commenter?
Okay, tag title is definitely not my favorite until we need more limited, and plus TLC and SmackDown is unacceptable. They need to SmackDown.
Oh, they need to. Okay, so I'm gonna discern this. I got
yes,
this.
please help me.
I'm perfect
Okay.
at this. Bring that back up. Hold on, I'm translating.
Okay,
Tag title match wasn't his favorite.
Okay,
It needed to be more limited.
got you.
Plus, the TLC being on SmackDown is unacceptable compared to being on Mania.
Okay,
They needed to switch the SmackDown and Raw tag titles in between the Mania match and on the Raw.
all right.
And he's saying New Day is lucky to have that spot, essentially.
gotcha. That makes
Um,
sense.
I see where he's coming from. Truly. He or she, I guess. I don't know. It's sports entertainment guy. So guy. I see where he's coming from. And I don't disagree in some respects. Like I put over during the house party, I wanted to see Motor City Machine Guns on the card, selfishly. And I think that they earned it. That being said, I think this is an excellent way to kick off the next season. Because now we have that TLC match. Is it coming up this week or did it already happen?
No, it's coming up.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, this week. I believe.
That's what I thought.
This week.
Now you have a main event for SmackDown that's going
That's
to
what
be
I was saying, too.
wild.
Yeah.
So now, just
And
like Aaron
something
said on the
people
house
wanna
party,
see.
Oh yeah.
Aaron said this on the house party. He said people aren't going to like it because they're going to think, oh, they got snubbed out of Mania. But this is their moment. They're going to main event the SmackDown after WrestleMania, which is a huge spot. So to me, that means there's probably something big happening in this match if they were saving it for now and not right before Mania.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
And just the idea that people might be thinking now, like, oh, WWE's not going to give Street Profits a WrestleMania match. Like, no. What this means is that they trust the Street Profits and the Street Profits trust WWE. Because if you've even listened to, I don't know what podcast they were on, but they were being asked, like, don't you guys feel snubbed or something, basically? And they're like, no, we don't feel snubbed. This is a team effort. For we know that we do our job and we do it well, and WWE knows that.
I like that. And I want to hit Annie's comment right here. She said she didn't like Fatu's mask. It didn't match his intensity. And I see what you're saying, Annie, and I know that we've had some conversations, so this might sync with you. I like it because this is the beginning of it. So the next WrestleMania mask is going to be something different. I don't think we're going to see the same. And I agree. It was a generically made one.
It was.
But
I think it's going to evolve into a half mask.
Exactly. And I'm super stoked for that aspect. And Jones, you're right on that.
I agree that the mask needed one more look over for a little bit more detail, I think.
Yeah.
Just like, by the way, the worst thing that people came out with was the Viking Raiders / War Raiders. The Clash of Clans.
I would say for that one, yes.
It looked really, really cheap. And I understand wanting to do the brand crossovers. It needed more detail. It just needed something. Because the next night, when Drew came out to the Doom theming, they murdered it. It was awesome.
Yes,
it was awesome.
They did. But then Lyra comes
why couldn't
out.
Clash of Clans do that? They have infinite money.
And Lyra came out as a golden raven.
Yeah.
No, she came out as Always Sunny in Philadelphia, fourth member in that triple tag team they had.
I don't horribly disagree with that, and I can't get it out of my
Good
head.
Lord. Every time she
Since-
got
since
hit, all I
what,
seen was
our friend of the channel, Nick, said that on his show, and oh my god, I couldn't get it out of my head after they said it.
Yeah.
Damn it.
yeah. That's where I was at.
That is
House
what is going around, Con. That is what's going around.
Yeah, so let's hit that.
Yeah.
What is odd, I believe, the person who made the Fatu mask was Bray Wyatt's mask guy. Yeah, that's what we. I seen him respond to it, a picture of it on X. So I thought that was him. He said that's the mask I made for Jacob, and then when you click him, he's linked to the Bray Wyatt stuff. So that, I mean, interesting. We can definitely check more into that later on in the evolution of Jacob's mask, or is this a one-off?
Oh, it could be. Well, he could just bring it in big moments too. I could see that.
That could be too.
I could see that.
That could be too.
Oh, Jade Naomi, I thought was much better than it could have been. And I thought they killed it, quite frankly.
That's
as
awesome
a
to hear.
Jade singles match, and this is one of her first like singles matches on a big stage. I thought she did incredible.
Oh,
that's awesome to hear. This is the insight I wanted to hear, because this is like her first big proving moment. Outside of being with anybody to help her besides her opponent, just like it's how it's supposed to be designed.
And especially because, and I'm not saying that she isn't, she just hasn't exuded it all the time. I think Naomi hasn't always been the ring general. And I think as a heel, generally speaking, as a heel, we end up doing more ring generaling. So you control the flow of the match, because it's when is the face, when is the good guy going to fight back? When is the heel going to cut him back off? Whatever. Naomi hasn't had a lot of experience doing that. So I was worried not just on a Jade front, but also on a Naomi controlling the pace. And I thought it was a hot, like 8 to 10 minute match. I thought it was perfect. Perfect time. They kept it rolling. They kept it going. Jade over strong. Bing, bang, boom. And
she didn't pause like she normally does.
No.
She kept it going. She kept boots to the person, or moving, or addressing the fans. Like everything
actually thought she felt more in it because there weren't as many people. So they were trying to hide her in the tag matches, right? That was the thought process. And I think that was the smart thing to do at first. But after a while, the tag matches got too complicated, not because she couldn't do it, because there were too many other moving pieces. So there were 2 extra moving pieces. But in a singles match, it's just you and the other person. It's easier to lead someone too.
Very true.
Yeah, I do want to get you guys opinion. Naomi's new entrance music. Does it hit or does it not hit?
I love it. I think it goes with her personality that she's trying to create. And it was I was telling somebody, it's like when we used to go to the punk rock shows, and somebody who you might have known at school who dressed normally, and then you see them at a punk rock show and they got leathers on, they got a padlock through their septum, and you're like, oh no, maybe I won't say something.
Behind the curtain, I'm also a special education teacher. That's how my students react when they see me out in public.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, because I do not dress the same way at work.
Nope, I bet you don't.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. I really did. I thought they're really putting Naomi on the biggest platform to succeed right now.
Yeah,
and I think it's well deserved because of what she did in the past couple years, and she didn't take her ball home. There's so many hours of me talking about this specific thing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let my guys talk about it. We'll finish this up. Kevin, you hit the next match you want to talk about with us.
I'll move past this one quickly, only not because it was a bad match, but because I think it's pretty cut and dry. Is Rey Fenix and Grande Americano. I thought they did that really well. I thought they got the metal plate over, because that's going to continue to be a thing. And I thought Rey Fenix in his debut on WrestleMania, I thought he did really well. Thought he killed it. And for a second match in the company and not really having any other way, I can't argue with the match that they gave us. People, I'll touch on one thing that I saw online. People are saying that Rey Fenix is already buried. You don't understand the word buried. I
No.
promise you. If you're saying
No.
he's been buried, you do not understand what buried means, and you need
Nope.
to stop using it, because buried means he got squashed at Mania, and he didn't get squashed either. That would have been a 1-minute match. They gave him all of his shit in a 15-minute match, and then he lost via cheating.
Yeah.
Can't get better out than that.
I
Yeah.
want to say some of those idiots. You're the same idiots who, if WWE let you book the entire card, let you pick all the spots for the matches, if you got the exact card you got, you would still complain. So shut the hell up.
Yeah.
You would look for. You do not look to enjoy anything. Someone ripped joy out of your life, and now you don't know how to get it back.
It is
So
okay. It is okay to critique things from your
Yes.
perspective.
Very
But
true.
to say something is a burial
Yes.
when it's just not even close is
so funny.
ridiculous.
Do you know what I remember about Joe Hendry's match against Randy Orton? I remember that Joe Hendry showed up at WrestleMania.
Bingo.
Yeah.
That's all. I don't care. It was against Randy Orton. Okay, so what? It was a 5-minute match. Randy Orton was in the match.
By the way,
Yeah.
5-minute
Very
matches, not squash matches.
No,
No, they're not.
Also not a
Are
squash
you
match.
kidding?
And
Are you
I think
kidding?
Joe Hendry
think-
got legitimate offense in. It's not a squash match.
Yeah.
very true. And I think we have finally figured out who Grun is in our group. You are our Kenny Powers.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah, you're our Kenny Powers. And, sometimes I sit over here, Grun, and I'm just trying to find a button in which I can hit right when I know what you're about to say. But no, I agree with you. I do agree with you. I agree right there. And that's what I'm saying about a lot of people who are just complaining about the Mania. And that's what I said that Sunday on Nick's show. I hope we all just fall in love with the moment of Mania again, and we just enjoy it for what it is. It's the biggest wrestling that you'll see that year, and there's so many people involved, and it's the biggest stage. So just be that kid who fell in love with wrestling when you were a kid, and you're going to love every aspect of it.
I am not saying that you can't have an opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Looking at the camera as I say this.
Sure.
I'm not saying that people can't have an opinion. You are well within your right to have an opinion. That being said, try and remember a time where you had less dirt sheets at your disposal, where you had less things that are spoiling things for you. And you can
Yes.
get into these matches more without trying to critique everything that you feel is a botch, that you feel is something that's not a good booking decision. You're not in there to see the ride and what the story is going to be. Just try and experience it more. It's going to make your life easier. As a person who picks apart things simply by being in the business, I got to turn my brain off for Mania, and it was fucking glorious.
It was fun, wasn't it? It was so much fun.
It was so much better.
Yeah, I agree. I'm there with you guys 100%. Next match, what are we looking at?
Let's say Tiff and Flair,
Okay.
which
Oh man, all right, let's get into it.
I think Tiff and Flair.
Went a lot better.
I thought the match was good. It got so I get that they wanted to bring the shoot fight issue into it right at the beginning. I actually thought when they entered that there's a term that I stole from Cornette, boo boo job face. I thought Tiffany came out with boo boo job face, like she was about to eat a pin that she didn't agree with. And I'm like, oh my god, is Tiffany gonna lose this match?
Yeah.
But after they started the match, I'm like, oh, then no, they just came out because they wanted to kill each other.
Yeah.
And I thought they got that aspect over good early. It looked like after Tiff got hit with a boot, I think it was a boot. It looked like something happened with her teeth, like a chip or a knockout or whatever. She seemed a bit more rattled after that, but recovered really, really well. And I know as a person who's been in that ring and gotten rattled, it takes a hot fucking second to come back. So unfortunate timings. But the latter half of that match I thought was incredible. And I thought it was one of the matches of that night.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Wow. That was a cool moment for both ladies.
Mhm.
And like I said on the Sunday house party, to me, looking at that ring after 1, 2, 3 happened, Charlotte just seemed like a weight was lifted off of her. I don't know if that's any truth to it. It's just what I observed with her and her body language at that time.
Mhm.
And it was really cool to see Tiffy have a moment in which she brought up a long time ago with the Barbie doll box.
Mhm.
And that being an
I thought
entrance.
that was one of the entrances of the weekend. Let
Hell
alone
yeah.
I
the
did
night.
too.
One
I
of the
did
best
too.
entrances, yeah.
And hopefully, like next, if she's at this moment next year, we get like a WWE toy box made of her
Mhm.
to where she's like, I think that would be so awesome.
It would be cool. It would be playing up the people that compare her to Barb, whether they mean it as an insult or as a compliment.
Yeah.
Because like it's like, all right, yeah, I am a Barbie doll. No, what you gonna do about it? Because I'm still the champion, bitch.
Yeah.
Very true, Grun. Very true. Aggressive.
I
but true.
agree with Khan. Regardless of buildup, Charlotte is still one of the best in ring. And when she
Yeah.
can put her stuff aside, she continues to do it.
And
I
she
mean,
did it that night. She did it that night.
I may not like her, but I have to acknowledge that she has her father's talent. She is natural at this business.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think that moves us to the big match of the night one, though, with a lot of serious implications going into Raw. And I guess it can bleed into both of those discussions before we get to night two. Punk, Reigns, and Rollins.
Oh, man.
This was a masterful match,
Very
but
true.
it was especially important for the masterful moment.
Oh, yes.
Paul Heyman and his genius ass gave us. Like, to me, when he started getting the chair, it became more evident that it probably was going to be Rollins that he left with. But the way he got there was so good. And I can't stress enough how well that moment was made. And going out of it, Rollins needed the win. We now have mega heel Rollins, potentially with Heyman, depending on what they're doing. It could have went in one night, could have been a one-night thing.
Could have been.
Could have also not been.
Could have been
And
just
if they're
that
going
favor.
to do Rollins as a mega heel, I could tell you exactly who's about to beat Jay for this title at some point. And it's going to be Rollins.
Yep.
Because
And it's
nobody
gonna
can
be
generate
epic
the
fashion.
heat that Rollins can now.
100%.
Nobody's going to be able to do it.
See, that's why I fucking love Kevin's mind on all this shit. Because yes, does he have to watch it? Does he have to look at it? Does he have to assess all these things? Most definitely. He does amazing things outside of where you see him every Monday night. He breaks it down so you can easily digest it. And this right now, where we're headed, is just setting up perfect. You had Roman looking so defeated. And this kind of backs up the idea that I was saying he's dropping the tribal chief.
Yeah.
I mean, to me,
He doesn't have a tribe anymore.
Yeah, he doesn't.
That was the last piece of his tribe.
Exactly. So that's gone. CM Punk. We're about to get the most pipe bombs that you could ever get because he is going to be so goddamn
They're probably,
jaded.
you know what they're probably going to do with Punk is
Give
they're
it to
going to
me,
keep
Kevin.
Rollins on Raw, but they have to split up Punk and Rollins because right now they have on-site auras. So I imagine Punk goes to SmackDown.
Yeah.
Good move.
Because then who's the champ on SmackDown now?
Whoa. That, you know what, Kev? That is brilliant. I didn't even think about that, but I love it because that was my next question. Are we going to enjoy Punk on SmackDown?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because he's going to spiral right into Cena. And we'll talk about that more in a little bit. But
beautiful.
I don't think it's going to be what's next for Cena. I think that's going to be Orton.
Doesn't need to be. Yeah, doesn't need to be.
But you got Money in the Bank after that. And I think it'd be a neat callback if you did Punk and Cena at Money in the Bank one more time.
Oh, man. Have they released where, or said where Money in the Bank is this year yet?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Maybe they did.
I believe I got a message. You guys keep talking.
Okay.
Are we thinking that's an interesting query though? Roman Reigns' career over next year? I mean,
No, he's got a few more years left.
I think he's got a few more, but I think he's going to be way more part-time going forward. And I think we're going to get Roman at the big
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. Okay.
Yep.
We're going to get Roman at the big four, but we're not going to get too much otherwise. We're going to get him in matches at SummerSlam and Mania going forward. But Roman, I think, is transferring to Hollywood. And that's good for him. His body, having fought like cancer and everything, probably is better to be more Hollywood and part-time. And I think this is best course of action to get the most out of Reigns. While you build up other stars.
Oh yeah.
Fucking love it. Yeah,
but I guess that can take us. That can take us to night 2 because really we just have wild speculation about Rollins and Heyman.
Hold on.
Go on.
I've got one speculation that I want to see tonight, and that is Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman coming down, the most outrageous, the most outlandish, the most ridiculous suits and dancing. Because I don't care if it's a one-night thing. I just need to see it because it would be absolutely fantastic.
I don't know if Heyman will have the wild suit, but I can guarantee you he'll be dancing with Rollins.
You know what?
Well, I'll take that.
Trip, you took Hero Cena away from Grun. Give him Heyman in a suit. Yes, give him this. Just give it to him so he's happy, and we can keep him happy. You know, because happy Grun is a good Grun. No, I love it. Grun, you've been talking about that one for a moment, so yeah.
I'm here for it. I don't know if he's going to go outside of his suit repertoire. It will probably still be a 3-piece suit, but boy, it could be colorful.
He might get some flashy glasses.
I could see that. Yeah. I could see a red suit or something like that. That would make sense to me.
I would like it.
I could see flashier 3-piece suits, but I don't think we're going to get the fashionista Paul Heyman. That's going to be reserved for Rollins.
Oh, that would be so epic, though. It really would be.
And I think they could do a one-off at some point. I could see it, but it's not going to be a regular occurrence.
Yeah, it would be fantastic.
Yeah.
So that leads us into night 2 then.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So night 2, the opener of night 2, the women's triple threat. I thought that was the most unpredictable result to me.
Yeah.
Just looking at it, it was such a good match. A lot of people I've seen, clamoring and chattering that it's one of the best triple threat matches ever. I don't know if I want to go that far. There's a long history of triple threat matches.
Very true.
But that being said, the match itself was incredible. And the finish, I wish they didn't do the same finish in a later match because they kind of did. But the finish of it with Io hitting that moonsault out of the pin into her own, and then Io going over when everyone thought it was going to be Bianca, I think that really shows you how much faith they have in Io going forward and how much they want to strap a rocket onto her so that she's at the same level as Rhea and Bianca. I think we're going to see a longer title reign from Io at this point.
I think so.
I think it's well-deserved too.
I don't disagree. I think she's been carrying a lot of that division. Her and Liv Morgan, actually. Rhea, of course, is the big star of the division to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a bad thing. But that being said, the quiet workhorses have been Liv and Io. So rewarding this aspect, I think, is good because now Io can move to other things and feel more important going forward. And if you can get more people to feel more important, then you got a bigger roster of people to do things with.
Yes, and you have a bigger roster to have some of the most amazing matches that we are seeing. This one included. Io showed up. I mean, I had my whole prediction, which not too many run-ins in this Mania.
Yeah.
And this was one I thought we were going to have one. But it didn't happen.
I think they're going to turn Bianca. I do.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might be even as soon as tonight.
I can see it.
And I think she is going to end up aligning with Naomi. Mm-hmm. But I was thinking back on all the predictions that we made and all the things to do with it. Why have 2 major heel turns at Mania? Because you already had it with Rollins and Heyman, and that was the last match the night prior. If you're starting the Mania with this match, I don't think you can start with another heel turn. It just doesn't make sense.
I got you. No, that probably makes sense. But here, you know me and my conspiracy brain.
Oh, kill it.
It went flying because they kept showing this one specific commercial, and in this commercial, it was very villainous. It was very people were everybody who was in this commercial. They are either a top heel or people have been speculating that they're going to turn heel. Bianca's one of them. I've even read heel Tiffy, which I think they could go into it if
You could.
if Charlotte is going to keep going, she's not going to take any time off or anything. You could get sympathy out of this because you could turn Tiffy into the arrogant brat who is just always saying, "Oh, I got over on you, Charlotte." You're going to get your sympathy. People are going to follow over. And then all of a sudden, Tiffy's this heel who just actually does really well. And I would like her to have a decent run with this kind of persona. But in this commercial, that's what was happening. And then at the very end, they're selling shirts for Dom and Liv. But it's all villainous setup.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're dropping Easter eggs like that.
I mean, that's fair. Grunt, how'd you feel about the match?
I thought this wait, which match are we on now?
Triple threat women.
Triple threat. Still on the triple threat. Okay. I think it's one of the best women's triple threat matches of all time.
That's fair.
All time. Because there are a lot of great triple threat matches, in not just in WWE history, but in pro wrestling history. But as far as the women's triple threats go, this is absolutely definitely at least top 5, if not number 1.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll see. I don't think you'll see a lot of arguments for that statement.
Yeah.
Even with recency bias, I think this match got everyone going way more than a lot of other historical women. And to be fair as well, there isn't that many historical women's triple threat matches where they actually got time to go out and do shit.
Oh, yeah.
With people who know how to do shit.
Yeah.
So it's not controversial, and it's probably 1000% accurate that it is one of the best women's triple threat matches.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. This is now, I love the idea of you having a long reign. At the same time, I'm thinking this is going to push Rhea and Bianca into different directions.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that Nick mentioned is that we eventually get a mixed tag team match: Finn Balor and Liv Morgan versus Dirty Dom Mysterio and Rhea Ripley. I don't know if
I don't buy it.
I find it hard to believe that would happen. I find it more plausible that what happens is they bring Roxanne to Raw, Roxanne Perez, and she's like trying because she's from Laredo, Texas. So I'm sure she has a love for Eddie Guerrero, bro. Or at least they can sell it, and she's trying to look out for Dom and like, hey, Liv's doing this stuff behind your back. You should really know about this, and maybe Roxanne is the new tag team partner for Dom in mixed tag matches.
That could work. I don't know what direction they're going to go with Roxanne yet. I know she's going to the main roster soon. That's right. They're going to have a blow off with her and Cora Jade based on the Stand and Deliver stuff, which is a whole nother talk for another time.
Oh yeah.
But that's probably what's next on her rocket docket before she swiftly goes to the main roster.
Yep.
Jesus.
I think we're at where the conscience.
Fair enough.
Yes.
I thought the street fight between Priest and Drew was great.
I thought it was very fun. Good. Yeah.
I thought it could have used. I thought the violence was about as much as WWE was going to give us, and the finish was very creative. Yes. I loved the finish. That being said, because there wasn't blood in the main event, I think blood could have been used here. And I think it could have gotten it more over and more sympathy for Priest. I'm not usually an advocate for blood in wrestling, not because it doesn't do a thing, not because it doesn't whatever, but because it's used too often. I think
Gotcha.
that's my issue with it. But if you didn't have it anywhere else on either night, I think here would have been the time to use it, and it would have made it feel more dramatic.
I agree.
Yeah.
This match or Jay's match? I thought.
Yeah, it had to be one of those two to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it helps this match more only because
Yeah.
the foregone conclusion of the Gunther and Jay match. I'm not saying the blood wouldn't have helped, especially if Gunther beat the holy hell out of him and then he was just bleeding gusher.
Yeah.
But I think Priest Drew could have used it more simply because Drew could have looked more like an animal and Priest could have gotten more sympathy.
No, I got you on that one. That one makes sense.
It also, and I don't disagree with hypocrisy. Gunther bleeding also would have worked simply because of what he did to Jimmy.
Exactly. Play off that back,
Yeah.
And it
But
sells.
all in all, I thought the street fight itself was good.
It was good.
Well worked. They did the things. That fatal 4-way though.
Wow.
Oh, that was something else.
So this is what I was alluding to earlier, that it was a similar finish because it kind of was.
Yeah.
And you try and avoid that as much as you can. But at the same time, I don't think a lot of people cared that much.
No.
Because of who went over in both of the scenarios.
Exactly.
And it's very fascinating. And I called it, I called this to somebody. I wasn't able to do my predictions before everything and put it on stream. But I looked over at somebody before the match. Or no, I yelled it to my Discord because my buddies were on Discord with me watching it. And I was with Annie. I said, it's going to be Dom and he's going to pin Finn. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And by God, that's exactly what happened. And this
know,
Raw is going to be very, very intriguing because we're going to see that fallout.
Yep.
Yeah. And there was somebody we were, I forget who said it, but they predicted that exact thing. It might have been Jones.
I could see Jones coming up with that.
Yeah, and it was like we were discussing it, and then somebody was like, "Well, wouldn't it be cool if Dom does pin Finn, because then it gets into the story more, and then we're going to get an awesome feud between Dominic Mysterio and Finn Balor, and I'm there for that one. I want to see that. I want to see those two go at it because honestly, at the end of the day, Dominic Mysterio gets it. He has this thing about him. And what I love about him is he is so much like Eddie's aura, because Eddie, no matter what it was, even if he was telling you he was a good guy, deep in his heart, he was a bad guy. He lied, he cheated, he stole, and he didn't care, and we didn't care. So Dom is just riding that wave, and it's perfect for him because he's going to be able to go in and out of heel, face, and it will never matter because there's going to be a group of people like us who sit around and go, Dominic Mysterio gets it.
Yeah.
100%.
He's the best mix between his father and Eddie Guerrero.
Very 100%.
And I'm excited to see how Judgment Day half breaks up tonight, because it's not going to be a full breakup tonight, I don't think.
No,
it's going to be close. We're getting an implosion soon because I bet Dom versus Finn is going to be at Backlash.
I could see that.
Yeah.
It would play into that PLE perfectly.
Yeah, and that's a good question too. I'm not sure how Judgment Day and how Finn Balor and how everything kind of goes on with it. My assumption is that Dom ends up a face at some point this year. I don't really see that big of a way around it. I just don't know how that dynamic is going to work, because I don't want to turn Liv face anytime soon.
No, you're
and
making
if they're
too
still
much
attached.
money.
That's going to be an awkward kind of thing. So I don't really know what they're going to end up doing. And I love being in that position.
Yeah, me too. This is going to be an epic thing for us. We're going to have so much to talk about with Dominic's run.
Oh yeah.
And
We're gonna have to put a pin in it.
Yeah, we got to put a pin in that one. What's that leave us left?
We still have Styles Paul.
Great match.
I thought it was good. I loved that Karrion Kross had a spot in it. I assumed
I knew you did. Dude, as soon as I seen his hand pop up, I was like, Kevin is living in heaven right now.
Somewhere Kevin is very happy to see Karrion Kross. And I thought that was the moment of the match for me, which is supposed to be the moment of the match, really.
Yeah.
because it led to the finish. And I thought the match itself was good. I wish they would have leaned more, or maybe less. I wish they would have leaned less on Paul looking into cameras, because that's kind of what they did to try and get heat from the audience at home. He would like
I
take the
gotcha.
drone, look into the drone. He would take this camera, make it his. Like,
Yeah.
maybe one of those spots would be good. I think just the drone spot would have been good. But because it was used like 3 or 4 times, I wish Logan would have done a couple of different things to get that heat.
Yeah.
Now, I'm real quick, specifically on that. I'm not sure if it's 100%, but again, I was down a rabbit hole on the internet,
Sure.
and I heard that I believe it's Hulu has a documentary about the
It
Paul
does.
family.
Yeah.
Well, in comments that people have been leaving, that is one thing they said that he does way too much, is look directly into the camera. So from what I was reading, that it might have been him poking at those people and leaving those comments, doing it, but that's playing 4D chess, and who the hell has time for that?
Yeah. If that's the case, like, good on him for reading that. Problem is that's probably a very small subsection. So if you're
Yeah.
poking at that subsection, I think you can poke at more subsections by
We
doing
poke
different
up here.
things.
We don't poke
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Poke at them for sure. Look directly at that drone camera, grab it once or twice, good to go.
Yeah.
But to do it 3 or 4 times, and
It
that's
was-
really your only heat getting device,
Yeah.
I think you could do more with it. I maybe
Great
personal
observation.
preference. I thought it worked for the most part. It just got stale.
Yeah.
Is how I would go about it.
Agree.
Again, all the movements and mechanics of that match were good. I saw a bunch of people bitching about that match and saying it wasn't good, and I thought they were wrong. I think they're wrong about every match on this card, personally, though. But could we see more out of Styles and Paul at some point? Sure, but the point of this match wasn't to do some high spot match with Logan Paul and Styles. The point of it was the Karrion Kross aspect and the will AJ do shit. And that's what we got. And that's what we should expect.
No, I agree. Grun, how'd you enjoy this? To me, this was wrestling. This was a WrestleMania wrestling match. I enjoyed it. Grun, what were your thoughts?
I really enjoyed it. I loved all the aspects of it. I get that not everyone, like, I liked how he was. Most of what Logan Paul does, I like, because he's trying to be that douche. He's trying to make you really be like, oh, why are you doing all that? It's like he wants to make you think that he's intentionally breaking these rules of wrestling for himself. He wants you. He wants to do all the things that he knows will make wrestling fans hate him, even if it's small things, because he knows that he can build up on all that. And it was like, oh, like, he already knows, okay, they're already warmed up to hate me. Now let me really add on the hate and really add on the trash talk, and then they're gonna erupt in a roar, and really give him what for. AJ Styles and the Karrion Kross, I was saying, like, I'm very much looking forward to that. I'm glad that they're doing more with Karrion. Cannot wait to see where exactly this goes.
After that, I don't know if you guys caught this. Oh, no. Did we post it in the chat? I don't remember. Karrion Kross's post-Mania promo.
Yeah. His bombing. Not
Yeah.
bombing, but his like dive bombing.
That was that was a work shoot if I've ever seen one.
Man, that was wild.
But the way he sold it made everybody believe. And boy, I could tell only by a couple things he said that it was a work. Because otherwise, and I'm not everyone, so not everyone's going to pick up on things like this. But he talked about too many people in WWE for it to be a shoot within the storyline. That made me seem like it was a work. But that being said, that was an incredible work shoot promo, and it got everybody buzzing. And Karrion Kross right now is the definition of, I do not even have to ring the bell for me to be over. He is over. It is time. It is Karrion Kross's time to go forth and use this momentum. And I'm ready for the summer because that's when they're going to take a chance on him. That's always when they take a chance on new guys.
That's what I was going to say to you, because you're the one who's been advocating for Karrion Kross on this channel. And I've listened to you. I've dove into it. What we witnessed here at Mania and then post Mania, I can't wait.
I can't wait.
And this is the first time I've said that about Karrion Kross.
Yeah.
So, listen to what Kevin says here, people. That's the moral of that story. Let's get to this main event because we are 10 minutes officially outside of Raw going live.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention congratulations, Joe Hendry, for making the show.
Yes, that too.
I will.
Joe Hendry.
I'm going to say that real quick. We don't have to talk that much about the match. Good job getting your shit in. You got your WrestleMania moment, and I loved Randy Orton playing off the camera zoom.
Yes. Perfect matchup. Perfect matchup.
It was a perfect amount of time. It didn't need to be long. We cared that Joe Hendry was there. TNA cared that their championship was on WrestleMania. Everybody got good business out of it.
Beautiful.
And then congrats to Becky Lynch's return. Can't wait to see what you do next too.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That being said, we don't have time to dive into those ones yet, so we'll have to put a pin in Becky's return to see what she does, because we have to talk Cena Cody before we get into Raw today. We're only 9 minutes out, so we are limited time for this, boys, and there is a lot to dissect about what happened. The internet is in an absolute shitstorm about this match. They thought it was a disappointing WrestleMania main event. How could they give us this garbage? Why is Travis Scott there and not The Rock? Look at me while I say this, people. John Cena told you exactly what you were going to get, and you got it. You got nothing. You didn't get The Rock. You didn't get some classic WrestleMania match. You didn't get the satisfying ending for his 17th title reign. You get nothing. That's the entire sentiment behind his run. I'm not saying they went out there and said, you know what, let's bomb this match, because they didn't. You know what they did? They worked an 80s style match. Go back and watch Hulk Hogan versus anybody in a WrestleMania match. They saw those matches and said, bet.
I couldn't agree more.
That's what they gave you. And you hated it. Why? Because you hate going back to watch the 80s now. That's it. That's all they gave you. No. And you hated it. And that was the point.
No, I thought it was fantastic. And you hit exactly what I was going to say. They gave you an old style wrestling championship match, in which we used to see back in the day for the biggest, the Starrcade. Anytime you had a main event going on back then, that was how that match was. I loved it. It really hit the young wrestling fan in me, going back to those days. Grun, let's hear your thoughts. Now we are 7 minutes outside, Grun, so I know this is a hard one.
Yeah. Well, so this main event match, I thought it was exactly what it needed to be. It was John Cena and Cody Rhodes having a little bit back and forth action, but in the end, we saw John Cena does what John Cena always does, and that is he finds a way. Only this time, it's through dirty, rotten cheating. And he wins, and he steals, and he is now a man of his word.
Yeah. You're 100. We got Nick chiming in here. Boo. See, you know what? And I thought there's a lot of things that happened out there in Vegas. Apparently, John Cena hijacked the Vegas sign. And in the letterings, he actually got it to where when there was like a split second, everything went out except "you can't see me," and then it was on the board. And so they had a lot of fun, and that's the thing. That's what I think we need to get back to with the thinking of WrestleMania. That's what this was about. It was at a big grandeur place that they took a chance on years and years ago in the early 90s, and it paid off because it produced a spectacle that we've seen there. So many people got to see so many different ideas of wrestling coming from the indie promotions up until the top guys. And was it the greatest WrestleMania? No. Was it the best WrestleMania? No. But it was a good one for what we had for storylines. I loved it. It was great for me. Guys, Let them know real quick final thoughts on WrestleMania, then where they can find you. Grun, since you're always quick on it, why don't you hit them with it real quick?
All right. Overall, I rate this year's WrestleMania 8.5 out of 10. I think that's a fair rating. I think
I agree with that rating.
It's a good rating. You can catch me at twitch.tv/Grunmeister, where every Friday, at least most Fridays, I do my SmackDown preview review show at 7 p.m. Eastern. But also be sure to hit the follow button because I am a sneaky streamer. You never know when I'm going to pop up and do some streaming.
New tagline for Grun, sneaky streamer.
Yep.
You've dropped it enough, fans. You start using it when you see them. All right, Kevin, same for you, my friend.
Well, you can always find me at Callaway Kevin at Instagram, and you can find me at Kevin Callaway on Facebook. As far as WrestleMania, night one was business. They got through the business of night one to get all the swerves and, you know, some of the more predictable ones. But night two was the excitement. Night two was the get up. And yeah, I agree with an 8.5. 8.5 out of 10 is exactly where I would put it. Again, it blew me away in how well they worked the matches. I think the only thing that hurt it was the build, because it didn't feel as much like a payoff. It felt like a lot more like just really good matches. So I think that's where I was at with it. And then, yeah, that's basically where to find me. And that's my thoughts on Mania.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Fans, I'm going to give this Mania an 8 because I would have gave you a 9 or an 8.5 if you would have gave me my tag team ladder match, but that's beside the point. I'm giving it on a Friday, so I'm okay with that. Outside of that, it was a perfectly executed Mania for what I wanted. Being just a stingy fan over here right now, I loved it. It was awesome for me. I enjoyed it. But outside of that, if you enjoy what we do here, we are part of an amazing group of people who create. That's all we do. We just got done with Podmania with another 2 groups of amazing people and their communities. It was an amazing time with everything that we were doing this year. We can't wait to get bigger and better possibly next year. So if you want to join us and be a part of that, just keep in touch with us. Mondays at 7. That's where you find us. We do what we do, and you've seen what we did, and it was here at 7, like always. So join us, have fun with us. It's Kevin Callaway, Grunmeister, and we just have fun. And it's part of IYH, which you can catch me on Thursdays with House, where me and House, we go extreme and we watch the ECW watch along. That is at 5 p.m. on a Thursday. You can come and get all the fun violence that ECW provided us years and years and years ago. But me and House, we just can't get over it. And then on the last one, there's a Sunday house party. That's when we invite everybody, no matter who you are, what you wear, or, well, wear something. But it's a house party. We talk wrestling. It's usually that week of all the things that have happened. And we bring in anybody who wants to be a part of it. And we talk wrestling. So come join us, IYH. There's also a Wednesday show, The Raw Deal with House and O'Neill.
Mm-hmm.
You can go check them out. They cover Raw perfectly, and you're going to want to be with them because you can point things out Monday to us what we got wrong. They'll correct it. Don't worry.
It's a lot. We get a lot wrong.
Exactly. But overall, we are a great team that is just trying to build something in this wacky world. And we absolutely... Oh God, Nick's in there. Josh is bipolar ECW. He's fun but not violent. What a weirdo. Oh, here we go. So, anyways, fans, go watch some Monday Night Raw, and we can't wait to catch you on the next one. Until then, though, bye.
Shadows creep in the spotlight's glow. Turning cold, now it's time to throw. Chains on my neck, but I'm losing the brain. Ropes of smoke, twist dissolving my pain. End of the show, let the chaos unfold. Heart blacker than the night, ice cold. Crowd screaming, but